Imagine hearing stories about a woman so terrifying that parents warned their children about her for generations. A noble woman who allegedly murdered hundreds of young women. A countess whose name became a symbol of horror. Some people believe she was the most ruthless female killer in history. Others believe she was completely innocent. So, who was Elizabeth Báthory? A monster or the victim of one of history's greatest conspiracies? This is her story. A world of kings and castles. The year was 1560. Europe was a dangerous place. Kings fought for power. Empires expanded. Religious wars divided nations. Life was short. Disease was everywhere. Violence was common. If you were born poor, your future was decided before you could even speak. But Elizabeth Báthory wasn't born poor. She entered the world as one of the richest girls in Europe. Her family controlled enormous lands. They owned castles, villages, armies. Their name carried enormous influence throughout the Kingdom of Hungary. From the moment Elizabeth was born, her future looked extraordinary. The Báthory family. The Báthory family wasn't ordinary nobility. They produced military leaders, judges, politicians, and princes. Some relatives became famous heroes. Others gained dark reputations. Centuries later, historians still debate how much of those stories were true. Growing up inside such a powerful family meant one thing. Elizabeth received an education very few women could dream of. She learned to read and write. She studied several languages: Latin, Hungarian, German, possibly Greek. She became intelligent, confident, and highly respected. But life inside noble families wasn't always peaceful. Politics surrounded every conversation. Every marriage had a purpose. Every friendship carried a price. Power mattered more than happiness. A marriage of power. At just 15 years old, Elizabeth married Count Ferenc Nalesti. The wedding became one of the grandest celebrations of its time. Thousands attended. The marriage united two incredibly wealthy families. Soon after, Elizabeth moved into Chaicha Castle, a massive fortress surrounded by forests and mountains. While Ferenc spent much of his life fighting the Ottoman Empire, Elizabeth managed the family's enormous estates. She supervised servants, handled finances, settled disputes, collected taxes. For a woman living in the 16th century, this level of responsibility was remarkable. People respected her intelligence. Even her critics admitted she was highly capable. Everything seemed perfect, until strange rumors began to spread. At first, they sounded impossible, just whispers, stories told in villages. No one could prove them. But year after year, the rumors became darker. The first rumors. Servants occasionally disappeared. Young women who entered the castle were never seen again. Families began asking questions. Where had their daughters gone? Why did nobody return? Some believed illness explained the disappearances. Others blamed accidents. But villagers whispered something far more frightening. They believed the castle itself had become a place of terror. Still, no one dared accuse one of the most powerful women in Hungary. Who would believe a peasant over a countess? a castle full of secrets. Life inside Chaikche Castle remained hidden from ordinary people. Only servants knew what happened behind its walls, and servants rarely spoke. Fear kept mouths closed. Whether that fear came from Elizabeth herself or simply from living under noble authority, no one knows for certain. Years passed, the rumors continued, but without evidence they remained only rumors. Then something happened that changed everything. One powerful man decided the whispers could no longer be ignored, and his investigation would make Elizabeth Báthory famous forever. When Count Georgi Tsirtso arrived at Chaikche Castle, he expected to uncover the truth. Instead, he opened one of history's greatest mysteries. Was Elizabeth Báthory truly a monster, or had someone carefully created that image? That is where our story begins to take a shocking turn.